Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And wow, do we have an entertaining topic to dive into today with a new eavesdrop episode coming out yesterday with Hector Rodriguez and Willie Big Timer Johnson, someone potentially spotted lurking in the background of the Hex quarters. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that, especially with this announcement today. Announcements you would imagine coming relatively soon. Big red button, your best friend, all that good stuff. Firstly, this from Scump. Good morning, fellow gamers. Sethy says attach, see you soon, says Scump in the replies. Is it possible that Scump's going to be joining the Minnesota Rokkr? I kind of doubt it, because Scump also, seen in the background here of this eavesdrop episode, alongside some other more familiar faces within the Call of Duty scene, but honestly, who knows what's going on at the present time. This, of course, from Hexred, a big OpTic question mark, because, it's been a big question, really, to be honest, the fact that, okay, when are these teams going to confirm? We know that, I don't really know if there is a specific date when these teams have to confirm their rosters. We saw last season people bringing on substitutes right up to the start of the year. So I'm not sure if there's a cutoff date, whether it's like as soon as the game comes out, teams have to have confirmed by then. But even then, we saw last year when the whole Chicago Huntsman to OpTic Chicago thing happens, that happened on pretty much the same day the game came out on like November the 13th or something. So I'm pretty sure there's not like a set deadline when these teams have to confirm. But it has been a bit of a surprise why some of these other rosters, which seem to be pretty much set in stone, haven't yet confirmed their rosters. And you'd imagine that this whole OpTic Dallas type thing, which is going to be in an OpTic Envy merger, is going to take a little bit longer to run through. But maybe with this content, which apparently is going on right now with the Hex quarters, it maybe somewhat sooner than that, because we've seen many pointers about it the last several days. I mean, this, for example, from Dashy, announced OpTic Dallas at least replying to OpTic Dallas as a possibility as an organization, and maybe that is exactly what is going on, because this episode comes out yesterday with Big Timer. I mean, what a guy, honestly, one of the most entertaining content creators that I've ever watched on YouTube. He doesn't really upload too much anymore, which is a shame, but if you go back and watch some of his OG series playing H1Z1, or even I watched an entire series of him playing Jurassic World, I was just enthralled every second, watch every second of every episode. It was just fantastic. He can make anything entertaining. Honestly, such an interesting individual, coming from I'm pretty sure he was in the Guinness Book of World Records way back in 2011, 2012 or something for being the highest earning Call of Duty player at the time. Then he retired, and since then obviously was a phenomenal content creator, and then more recently the last few years really done day trading and started his company Green Wall Street. And it's a really interesting episode talking about all these types of topics. And anyway, I was enthralled by listening to Hex and a Big Timer talk about these issues. I wasn't really watching for the background over Hex's shoulder, but to be fair, right at the start of the episode, it was said by Hex that and Big Timer as well, that there's some seriously big content going on in the background today. That's why they put their kind of tarp there, to try and prevent anything being seen from behind. But it turns out maybe something did slip slightly through the cracks, and I guess Matt Craig or whatever tried to edit this one, didn't quite catch a couple of things that some people in the scene, the internet detectives, certainly seem to have done. So I'll share this on screen for you guys in a second, where Big Timer and Hex are kind of saying, yeah, there's a big content shoot going on in the background, when Shotzzy actually supposedly gets spotted behind the scenes, but also what Hex goes on to say about the leaks, kind of suggesting that, he goes to stays off Twitter when leaks arrive, and some people may be along the right lines.
Welcome to episode 109 of the Eavesdrop podcast. There's a lot of recording going on today. Maniak streaming. Seth's over here recording a piece for
the main recording, the most important recording is
happening right now.
Right. My construction manager, the reason it got pushed back the last time.
Was the one that gave it to him.
The reason it got pushed back the last time.
Was the one that gave it to him. I've gotten really good at just not doing, just like
blocking
not
it out.
Well, look, when leaks happen, for example, I immediately get off Twitter. I'm just not on Twitter. Yeah. I got work to do, man. I don't got time here. One, I'm not gonna explain myself. Yeah. On something that I can't explain. You know what I mean? I can't get mad at somebody for assuming shit and sounding like a moron. Right. Because they're operating under certain, pieces of a puzzle. They don't have the full picture.
They do not have the full picture.
Right. So their assumptions are wrong. Yep. No matter how right they are, they're wrong. You know what I mean? So if I can't educate them on what's right, and if I can't prove them wrong,
no point in trying to even engage. No. Because then once you engage, it's a whole other thing, and then you fall down the rabbit hole and
Yeah.
So I did think it was kind of interesting what Hex said on the leaks there, when he was kind of suggesting that look, when leaks happen, I kind of get out of there. And some people have the right idea, but they're always going to be wrong. They're not going to have the entire picture. They're not going to have the full understanding of things, which of course is the case. But at the same time, maybe also implying that people have got the right idea with this OpTic Dallas stuff. Of course, backed up by what we see in the background right here. So initially this was was spotted, I believe, by Brandon Cunningham. I think this was posted on Reddit at a very similar time, so not sure who is exactly the first to spot this. There may be someone in the YouTube comments that got there slightly first, but I was impressed by this. Call me crazy, 5 minutes 42 in. Behind Hex's jet is definitely Shotzzy. Of course, we already looked at it where he seems to go across the cam, and of course, this is the initial image that comes out right here. So it is very interesting to look at this, right? It's just classic internet detective type stuff. Like, you really can't see, like, when you look at the actual image itself, you can't see all that much. Like, you know, it's not like evidently Shotzzy, even though I do think that this shirt rings a bell. I don't know if this is like some sort of collab, like OpTic, Empire, I don't know exactly what this is, but for some reason it rings a bell, and maybe that can imply something as well. It's at full Sherlock Holmes, honestly. And okay, the buzz cut type thing going on, it could well be Shotzzy. I think a lot of people are suggesting that it is. This is another screenshot, which is, well, slightly, I suppose, more difficult to see. And I mean, this also in the background as well that other people were noticing. That someone also said that maybe Illy they saw in the background. This, some people have said, is Rambo Ray, which may or may not be the case, right? He does like to wear his caps, but at the same time, like, is this Rambo? It's difficult to say. Like, a lot of people were looking in the background at this particular spot where the top was meant to be up, covering things up for the entire episode, trying to figure out what was going on and who was getting spotted in the background. So yes, maybe Rambo Ray, maybe not Rambo Ray, of course, at the same time. And well, this is then, well, the TacticalRab Academy tries to go through and figure out things in a little bit greater detail, enhance it gaffer, so shots are getting ready to go. And I mean, yeah, we're probably leading into the camera right here. This is some enhanced version, which to be fair, does look a bit more like Shotzzy than even the previous one. And then what I did is I went onto one of these, you know, AI, like, enhancer type websites, where, like, it'll use AI to try and fill in the gaps of what should be on the screen. And I mean, like, brace your eyes for this one. But this is what it came up with, which is, I mean, it is abysmal. At the same time, though, like, considering it can go from something like this to something like this, it's pretty impressive what the technology can do. Does this look like Shotzzy to you guys? I don't really know, but I mean, like, I guess maybe it's closer to Shotzzy than not being Shotzzy at all. So anyway, this is the rumor right now that Shotzzy has been spotted in the background. This, of course, is an AI generation if you guys for some reason are tuning in this way through the video. But I mean, yeah, this is what it reckons, and yeah, I think there's a very decent probability that this image right here is indeed Shotzzy in the background filming this major content, right? Because as Big Timer says in the background, like, yeah, this is the big content piece that they've of course been waiting to do, doing it at headquarters in the background. You'd have thought that had taken a bit more care and attention though, right? Like, there's a clear gap right here between the top and the background. Like, it's just a perfect gap for Shotzzy to come through. You'd have thought that maybe, you know, I don't know, if this has happened, like, it's always not necessarily deliberate, but you know, maybe that there was kind of a thought in the back of the mind that, okay, if someone does come through, then maybe it'll get people talking about it. I don't really know, because surely if you wanted to fully cover it up, you could have found a way to do it, because like, this top seems to be pretty big, and of course, like, the whole camera angle doesn't include the entirety of it. I don't really know. I thought you could have made it work somehow, but very interesting to look at regardless, as Crone says right here, like, Big Time out looking at the phone very closely indeed, trying to figure out what's going on right here. So to follow on from that, Jake Lucky tweeted out the internet detectives and stuff are very entertaining indeed, and as it says, you know, that is Mario. I don't know who, like, I don't know if there's a guy called Mario at the headquarters that this potentially looks like. Some people were saying in reply, like, there's no way that's Mario, or maybe he's just talking about straight up a fictional character. But I mean, yeah, it seems to me like, especially this one right here, looks very much like Shotzzy, to be honest. When you zoom in, it's not so clear, but like from here, like, who else is that, to be honest? It's difficult to say. And well, this also from here, damn, Roger uploaded Nick's process episode that was like, hell yeah, 6 months off straight up. So yeah, there was of course the process that came out with Maniak, and well, since then, like, you know, when's the next process, right? Of course, you know, the rest of the Black Ops Cold War season, what's happening there? And well, this is what Hitch says to kind of explain why it's why there's such a delay in the new process episode coming out. For real, I thought the roster reveal champs recap won't be out by now. He must be making the Titanic. It's all the legal stuff delaying it, says Hitch. It's going to be an absolute banger, supposedly. So definitely exciting stuff. But also continuing on from here is, well, Charisma comes in the reply, and well, Arslan, can you just say what city we are going to be in? Of course, OpTic, the team, where they're going to be for the upcoming season, and Vegas is where Hitcherite said it's going to be. So, I mean, pretty much all this confirms is that it's not going to be in Las Vegas for next year. So we'd imagine, like, I don't know, maybe Dallas is still on the cards. Of course, it will be. We would imagine so. But, you know, the Vegas spot has been one that's been up for debate, right? Because we saw Hex talking about maybe a year or so ago, really, on some podcast episode, that he was saying, yeah, for some reason, the Las Vegas spot has been, you know, not sold to anyone by the league. Maybe there's some organization that wants to come in and snap that up, that the CDL have kind of promised it to when expansion comes around. So maybe that's what's going on there. But Hitch pretty much saying that, yeah, it's not going to be Vegas for the OpTic guys. You would imagine if he straight up leaked this on the timeline, fair play. But OpTic Dallas still very much seems to be on the cards, especially with what we have looked at earlier today. I mean, yeah, this is what was rumored a while ago now. Shotzzy in the background. Didn't see, well, I saw Scump in the background as well, kind of as I was browsing through the episodes to see if I could see anyone else back there. The whole Rambo question mark, whether this is Rambo Ray. And well, if you guys find anything else in that episode, link it down below or let us know so we can go and check it out, because you're just entertaining stuff right now. I can't believe the COD community is like this sometimes. It's very entertaining indeed. But yeah, we imagine that is indeed Shotzzy. Of course, well, that is one of the other question marks as well, right, with the Washington Justice type stuff, like whether they're going to come in, whether Cloud9, who was kind of rumored, are they going to come in for that Chicago spot? What's going to happen to that leftover team, given the fact that, well, if this OpTic Dallas stuff is happening very soon, as it may well seem to be, right, with the kind of leaks that have come out the last 24 hours or so that we've discussed today, then maybe the next step of things, which is like, okay, if OpTic Dallas is confirmed, then what happens to Chicago in the NRG spot? That might not be too far around the corner. But very much intrigued to get your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really upset the YouTube icon. I know you enjoy this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well. And I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.